vitality. You know, and then of course my other stats: crit hit chance is at 76, critical hit damage at 314%. You know, and then my weak point damage is at 77%. I do have some resistances as well, some nice recovery, you know, over health, whatever. But I mean, those of course are the main stats right there. And then DPS 5960, so nearing that 6,000 threshold. And I have the Sword of Courage, which has crit chance, 16% crit chance, and 20% critical hit damage. So that makes it my strongest sword because it has both crit chance and the crit damage. It's one of the only swords I have of this level that has both crit chance and crit damage on. Then I have the Sword of Dominance, which has 6% crit chance, but also has the Greater Blessing of Luck that it gets, and it gives my polarity attacks elements as well as my weapon techniques elements, and it has like the Sword of Courage. So this is basically my Sword of Dominance is Drazkul's legacy and the Sword of Courage fucking combined. So it's awesome. It's pretty great. Okay, then I have the Lunar Token, which is an absolute must for a high crit chance Hinterclaw build. You know, you have, I mean, I have 16 plus 8, so that's 32%. Is that right? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24%, not 32. Yeah, so 24% crit chance, and then 11% longsword damage, and even a little bit of weapon technique charge speed. You know, so that's why I go with the double longsword, because of that extra longsword damage. Then I have an Amulet of the Betrayer, which is okay, not so bad. I do want a different amulet, you know, one that's a little bit more useful for me, you know, in the kind of build that I have built. But, you know, of course, it gives me the 0 health, you know, invulnerability thing. And then it's got, you know, 23% critical hit damage, plus that extra 20, so 43, with 11% crit hit chance, which is cool. And then, here's something that gives me a lot of fucking damage. A lot of DPS. I mean, I got 48 plus 20, I'm at 21 plus 28. That right there is 50%, right? No, 49%. Okay, and then that 16% physical damage. So this overall gives me, what, 65%? Because, I mean, that's 49 plus that 1 makes it 50. So, like, 65% physical damage, something like that. It also gives me a little bit of resistance, you know, physical resistance. So it does buff up that vitality just a little bit too. Then the Citrine Band that we have here, gain the Blessing of Endurance, not the greater one, whenever I defeat a marked enemy. So my critical strikes apply the mark of fragility. They have a chance of doing it anyway, so I do beat a lot of marked enemies, you know, and that procs quite often, making me a little bit more durable. It also has some physical resistance. Gives me +6 to all my resistances, so it's a little bit more bulky item. And it also has that 31% physical damage. The raw physical damage boosts your DPS with Hinterclaw more than just about everything. You know, of course, critical chance and critical damage does boost it just a little bit more. But I mean, that raw physical damage stat, and obviously if you're increasing your physical damage, it's all your damage, whether it's crit or what. Then of course you gotta have Macer's Band to roll. It's the best banner for Hinterclaw, hands down. I happen to have a primal one, so that makes it really fucking overpowered. 24% crit chance, 68 damage on the primary, then an additional 100. Let's see, an additional 60%. So I mean, like, it gives like 120% critical hit damage, plus, you know, a 24% chance. So when I place my banner, I have a 100% crit chance, and, you know, about 120% extra crit damage. Same with my little Lifestone. Gives me 100% crit chance, as well as another 100% crit hit damage. And then, of course, we have the augments. So mine are set up to have they all have physical damage. You know, I mean, I could probably optimize the skills they give me a little better, you know, but I mean, I really want the ones that I pick to have that physical damage increase. So mine are a little lower than normal. You see, I don't even have the whole 100% augment power usage. Got 90. But I have a Carnage, you know, primal, so it's really fucking overpowered. Gives me 160% critical damage. plus that physical damage, weapon technique damage 40%. I've also got Twilight Bloom, which gives me 123% plus an extra 20. So this one item gives me 140% weapon technique damage. Then I have, you know, Sacred Flame, which boosts the might on this, my Carnage, and even Divine Conduit, which I have might on. But as you can see, every one of my augments has physical damage on it. So this got 32% physical damage. This has 29% physical damage and applies stasis when I'm using Lifestone. This, of course, which I'm thinking about wanting to replace because I really don't parry people that often. You know, so it's kind of useless, but it does have 27% physical damage on it. This one's got 22% physical damage. Not so much might because it's a low level, level 20. But it does have that physical damage on it. So that's the main reason I picked this. And it does apply the mark of weakness when I hit a weak point, making my enemies weaker, thus making me survive more. And then also when I kill those enemies, I get that blessing of endurance. But like I said, that raw physical damage being on all of these augments definitely is what boosts my DPS through the fucking roof, which allows me to hit that 5900 threshold right here. But yeah, that's the build there. Happy to share it with you. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm probably gonna post that to my YouTube now because there'll only be slight changes to this build in the future. You know, like just to push it to that next level. But I mean, that's pretty much what it's gonna remain right there. So like the higher percentage physical DPS that you have, you know, that would also that makes the item better 100%. Like, so if you get one item that has a higher physical damage but it's the same item, then replace, you know, and just kind of like work more physical damage in there. But yeah, that's my Hinterclaw in a nutshell. You can unmute your mic now.
Quick question. Do you hear an echo when you're talking to me?
Nope, I don't, because I have my headset on.